practice Shaolin Cosmos Qigong or the skills in using energy, you're actually developing the skills and techniques to be able to cope with stress and anxiety, depression and feelings of overwhelm as well. And so part of that is the cleansing, building and nourishing stages, which helps get the energy flowing in more useful ways for you. And as part of this course, we've been developing the energy at the Qi High Dantian, the Dantian roughly 2-3 inches below the navel. And one of the benefits of developing the energy at the Qi High is increased health and vitality, as well as reported longevity. And it also helps in terms of stability and groundedness and coming back to our centre as well. So when we get into stressful situations or anxious situations, we often get taken off of our centre. So it's good to have some coping mechanisms or techniques to help you come back to that as well. But we can still get into situations and scenarios where they're overwhelming, they're too difficult to deal with as well. So in the class last night we were looking at one of the training techniques that you can use in order to help with that, and part of this technique helps to build the resilience when entering into situations that otherwise might be stressful for you or overwhelming, and helping you deal and cope with that better. And it's a bit like when you go down onto the seafront in England, the water's not that warm, and you first go into the water and you hit this wave of coldness, and if you go in there straight away and the body's not used to it, then the natural reaction is to want to withdraw from that situation. But you've decided and committed to going into the sea, so you wait until the body can acclimatise to the coldness in the water, and as you adjust you find that you're able to go into the water a bit further and then go for the swim. Or if you dive straight into the water, the body's got no other choice but to acclimatise as well. Unfortunately, when we're in really stressful situations or overwhelming situations, we don't always get the opportunity to adjust in a way that we'd like to, when you compare it to how it is for you when you're practicing your Qigong in a Qigong state of mind, a calm, relaxed, stable and quiet state as well. So you practice your Qigong after that and you come back to the stable state. But this exercise will help you build some of the resilience around dealing with these overwhelming situations, and also help you build some awareness as well. So if you're practicing the Dantian breathing or the skills in using energy, you can have a greater level of awareness in terms of physical sensations and especially the energy sensations as well. If you haven't practiced Qigong or the skills in using energy, then you may not have the awareness in terms of energy development, energy flow and energy working for you as well. So it doesn't really matter, because you're still going to get a benefit out of this exercise, and what we're working at is the levels of physical, mental, emotional, energetic and spiritual. Those are the realms or the areas that we can work at in terms of the Qigong: the physical, mental, emotional, energetic and spiritual. So get yourself to a place where you're comfortable with your feet close together and close your eyes. And we're going to be doing a little bit of imagination work here as well. And we're doing this all the time anyway. And sometimes people say, well, I'm not really good at the internal imagination stuff. But actually, because we're doing it all the time, we're always imagining what's going to happen in the future or stuff from the past, and that comes into our mind in terms of pictures. And it's a bit like that you're going to be doing. So gently close your eyes, and now just bring yourself to a time or a scenario that has been stressful for you or overwhelming or upsetting, or brings about sort of feelings of anxiety. So if the feelings get too strong for you, at any time that you can stop this, you can open your eyes, come back to your centre, walk around the room, just bringing yourself back into the here and now as well. So the first part of the exercise is gently closing your eyes and taking yourself into this imaginary place, or a very real place for you if it's already happened, into a time where it was stressful or anxious for you or overwhelming for you, or feelings that were coming up that were difficult or challenging to deal with as well. So just taking yourself back into that time, into that place, into that space. and just having a look around you in your mind's eye, in your imagination, just remembering the situation, what was in the room or the scenario or the place, who you were dealing with, maybe what they were wearing, what you were wearing, maybe the smells in the room or the place as well. Just really bringing yourself back into that as if it was happening now. And often when we think about stuff in the future, or we worry about stuff in the future, our body can't really determine or separate from the reality, and therefore we get the feelings of that now. And that's what you're doing at the moment, is you're taking yourself into that place where really the systems of the body don't really know any different. You know that you're not there right now, but you're taking yourself into that place, into that space where you have those feelings, those thoughts, those sensations. And the first thing to do is just to check in with how you're feeling around this situation. What's happening in the body? How does the body feel? How does it feel to you at the moment? Is the body tightening up? Is it loose? Is it relaxed? What's it like for you? What's the body like for you? And then what's it like at the mental level, the physical level, and then the mental level? What's it like at the mental level? What's going on in your mind? What sort of thoughts are coming about? What's coming up for you? And then what's happening emotionally? How is that affecting you? Where do you feel that in your body? Do you feel the heart changing, the breath changing? Do you feel it in your stomach? Or the mind? Where is it that you're feeling these states or these changes in this overwhelming or anxious or stressful state? What's that like for you? And then what's it like at the energy level? What's happening with the energy flow in your body? Is it rushing around the body? Has it slowed down and come to sort of like a stagnation? Is it stuck? And what's that like spiritually for you in terms of your everyday joy? What's happening there for you? Is your mind free? Do you feel that freeness and joy that you get when you're practicing a qigong or in a qigong state of mind, or when you're out in the open or in a free place where you feel free and open? What's that like physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually? And just check in with that. You don't have to do anything with it, by the way. You're just checking in with the feelings at the moment, the sensations, the thoughts, the energy, what it's like for you. And then gently open your eyes and bring yourself back into the here and now. Just remind yourself that you're not in that scenario now, you're back into here and now. And there's nothing going on apart from you listening to my voice, listening to what's going on here. But you're back into the room or the place where you are, back into the here and now. Now the next part of the exercise that we're going to do is an aspect of the Dantian breathing that we've done, and then we're going to go back into the same scenario and see how that's changed for you. So once again, now close your eyes and now focus your attention on that area of your Dantian, that area 2-3 inches below your navel, 2-3 inches in the Dantian, the chi high. Having your eyes closed, your mouth gently open. Just gently breathe into the abdomen as the belly expands, and as you breathe out, just letting go any tension to the body. Just breathing in, belly expands, breathing out, relaxing. So carry on with the breath and the feeling of breathing in, coming to your center. This is a centering exercise. Just come into your physical center with awareness and breath. So even if you don't have skills in using energy, you can use the breath and your awareness to benefit from this part. So just gently breathing in and breathing out with your focus of attention at your chi high Dantian below the navel. And in a moment you're going to take yourself back into the scenario, but with a gentle awareness of that area of the Dantian. So with your eyes closed now, just gently go back into that scenario. looking around the room again, hearing the voices or the sounds or whatever is going on in that scenario. The people, your surroundings, the smells, the environment, how the environment feels, and then how that feels to you at the physical level. What's going on in your body right now? As you're gently aware of your Dantian, at the same time aware of your body in this scenario. What's it like at the mental level? What thoughts are coming up for you as you gently experience the scenario, at the same time gently being aware of the Dantian area? What emotions are coming up? What's your energy like? What's it like spiritually, at the level of spirit? And we're talking here at the level of everyday joy and feeling free. Nothing religious. Just that sense of freedom and joy that we would often feel when things are flowing well. What's it like physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically and spiritually for you? Just noticing what it's like. You don't have to try and change anything. Just noticing what it's like, and noticing what it's like when you come back to your centre, when your awareness in this scenario is coming back to your centre. And in a moment we're going to come back to the here and now. Just opening your eyes now, coming back to the here and now. Checking how you're feeling. How that compared to the first scenario, where there was no preparation. You were straight into the scenario, demands or whatever was happening being made onto you. The feelings and sensations that you have, your awareness that you have. Just checking in with the differences, if there's any differences. So now we're going to go to the next level of the Dantian breathing that we've been practicing, and then back into the scenario again. So close your eyes, but this time place your hands over the Dantian area. So the hands here, just over the area of the Dantian. Doesn't matter if it's right over left or left over right. And as you breathe in, allow the belly to expand. And as you breathe out, just letting go of any tensions. And this time as you breathe in, let energy come into the Dantian. And as you breathe out any negative feelings, negative energy, anything unwanted or unuseful. And as you breathe in, bringing energy into the area of the Dantian. Gently pressing as you breathe out. As you breathe in, energy coming into the Dantian. Gently press out. Gently breathe in as the belly expands, energy coming in. Gently press the belly, just breathing out any negative emotions, thoughts, feelings, or energy or anything else. Allow your arms to drop down by your side. Have your eyes gently closed, your mouth gently open. Just notice the energy at the Dantian now. Just notice the energy at the Dantian. You might notice it as a ball or a sphere of energy, gently pulsating or moving or expanding. Just noticing the field of energy at the Chi Hai Dantian. And now imagine that you've already done this preparation before you walk into that same scenario. But this time, there's energy full at the dantian, and you've already let go of any negative emotions, negative energy or thoughts, ideas or perceptions. Just letting these go. Walking back into the scenario now, noting the room or the place or the space, the people or the environment. Now, like playing the video again, just walking yourself through that scenario. But this time, with energy at the dantian, feeling rooted, stable, calm. Notice what it's like for you physically. What's happening for you in the body. What's happening at the level of mind, thoughts. What's it like for you at the emotional level, the energy level, and spirit? What's it like physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually? Just notice any changes or sensations in your body. Noticing any differences to how it was the first time or the second time, or how it's been for you before. Just notice the differences now. And it doesn't have to be different on all the levels. You don't have to get rid of anything on any level. But just noticing the changes for you at any of the levels, physical, mental, emotional, energetic, or spiritual. You affect one area, you can affect all the areas. You notice a difference in your physical state, a state of physical relaxation can affect the emotional and mental, the energetic and the spiritual. You notice energy flowing more freely through the body. Therefore it clears away negative emotions or thoughts, helps to relax the body, nourishes the spirit. You feel the spirit lifted as you find joy again, even in the scenario of challenges or difficulties. Changes our perspective, our mind, our emotions, our energy, our body. So you work on any of the levels, affecting all the levels, some of the levels, or all of the levels, just noticing what it's like for you now. And in a moment we're going to come back to the here and now. So just gently coming back to your centre, gently opening in your eyes, coming back to the here and now, back into the room, back into the space where you're at. No longer in that scenario, but just checking what it's like for you in your body. How do you feel now? Is it easier for you to remain calm, stable, relaxed? Is there anything different for you? Have things changed for you? So now we're going to ramp it up a little bit. And if this gets too strong for you, then you can always open your eyes and come back to any of the other levels as well that you've been working at, or just stop here where we are now. So once again, close your eyes. Place your hands over the dantian. Breathe in as energy comes in. Gently press the dantian. Breathe in. As the belly expands, energy comes in. Gently press the dantian. Pause. Breathe in, energy comes in. Pause. Gently breathe out as you press in. Pause. Gently breathe in. Energy comes in. Pause. Gently press out. Pause. Gently breathe in. And now drop the hands to the sides of the body. Keep your eyes closed and just notice the energy building at the chi high now. Just notice the energy building at the chi high. And as the energy builds at the chi high, it starts to spread out. Spread out into the body. Filling your trunk, your legs, your arms, upper body, everywhere. Full of energy. Everywhere full of energy. And allow this energy just to gently ripple out now, beyond the level of your skin to the outside of you, just gently expanding, gently rippling out, like the waves of the sea, just gently rippling out. Maybe at first it's just a few inches beyond your body. You might notice it coming out a foot, or a metre, or the whole room. But at the same time, you feel rooted, centred, full of energy, gently peaceful, stable. Now from this place, from this resonant field of energy, gently take yourself back into the scenario as you are now. And just looking around and noticing how things are different for you now. How you feel different. How you might see things differently. No longer getting stuck in the mind or disturbed in the body or mind or heart or energy, but being full of energy, feeling that energy just gently resonating out. And then going through the scenario again now, but from a different place, from a different you, from a different state of being. And it's when we change our state of being that our reactions to the scenario changes. We become more resilient to being overwhelmed. We see the situation differently. We're able to cope differently. And you might notice it at the physical level, the mind level, the emotional level, the energetic level, spiritual level. You might notice as the energy ripples and resonates through your body and out into the room, that all these levels become joined up: physical, mental, emotional, energetic and spiritual. They just become a flow of energy. So it no longer becomes how well you can cope or how difficult the situation is, but your state of being that comes through your practice. And you're noticing the changes, noticing if it's different for you now. coming back out of the scenario, back into the here and now, back into your space or your room. Noticing any changes or differences, how it feels for you right now. Just being gently centered, gently aware of the dantian. Having a look around your room, or your place, or your space, and just getting a sense of things now. And then gently rub your palms together, place them over the eyes, massage around the face and the head, and then have a walk around the room as well. So it'd be interesting for you to see how things felt different for you as you did those exercises. And as I say, you don't have to try and change things at any level, but notice the changes that happen as your states of being change, physical, mental, emotional, energetic and spiritual. And those can all have an effect on the other levels as well. And it's not that if you practice this once, that the next time you go into a situation that you will be able to stay or remain calm, quiet, stable, still, centered, undisturbed. The things that were aimed at as part of the teachings of Jensen Fung. It can be challenging still. But it's something that if you practice, you become more resilient at. You become better at it. You become more skilled in using energy for everyday scenarios. In this scenario, we were talking about dealing and being able to cope better with places of stress or anxiety or that would normally be overwhelming for you. So when you practice this each day, you can take yourself through the different levels or take yourself straight to this end level. Or just practice being at the dantian, being centered or being relaxed. Remember that you've got different tools that you can use here: the physical relaxation, the mental relaxation, emotional relaxation, energetic relaxation, spiritual relaxation, some or all of those levels. Whatever helps you make things easier for you as well. And as it is a practice, it's something that you can become more skillful at. So one of the things that came up from the students in their class last night, I thought was quite beautiful, in that they put themselves into the scenario, and after doing these exercises, they had this experience of being much above, much higher than the scenario where the person was shouting at them, and the person that's shouting with them became so small that what was happening is that person became insignificant, the situation became insignificant. But when they were normally at it and the person shouting at them, there's this going on, which is a lot of confusion, a lot of emotions, a lot of disturbances. So when they were right up here looking down onto this thing that was really small, it was like this little voice trying to reach them, but didn't really have any effect on them here. I thought that was such a beautiful way of looking at this in terms of changing our states and changing our perceptions in a way that would help. Sometimes when we find ourselves in stressful situations and we notice the emotions rising and the thoughts coming up that we don't want to have, or that are harmful or negative, we try and push those emotions away or try not to have those emotions. And the point in the practice of Qigong is not to try and rid ourselves of any emotions or rid ourselves of thoughts, but just feel freer in ourselves in a way that we can deal with the things that come along. So we still have the emotions and we still have the thoughts and we still have feelings, but those thoughts and feelings don't tend to be harmful or negative. We just recognise them for what they are. They're just feelings coming up. And on one way you could look at those thoughts or feelings as just energy, pieces of information contained with the energy that's coming up as well, that's bubbling up or rising up. Sometimes those pieces of information might be a stored information information about something that happened when we were younger, an unhelpful scenario that turned out to become an idea, and that idea became a belief, and that belief became a core belief about ourselves. So when somebody comes along and demands something of us, or questions us, or puts a question to us, we might feel like that core belief is being put in question, and therefore at some level we are no good, or we're not good enough, or that I'm not able to cope. Whatever it is in terms of negative thinking that comes up as a result of these core beliefs or these underlying beliefs as well. One of the benefits of practicing the Qigong that we do is it brings us back into this Zen state, into this here and now. So practicing the focusing energy at the Dantian not only helps with the stability, but it helps us bring us back into this here and now, takes us out of these core beliefs and into a Zen state. And because we're in this Zen state, we're in a much calmer, clearer state of mind, body, being, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically and spiritually as well. So then the situation doesn't have such a pull or such a tug on us as well. There's often talk about detaching yourself from the situations, but actually if you come back into the here and now, come into this Zen state, and you practice that Zen state so that as you are at the Dantian, you come back to your center, that becomes your natural place to come from, as a place to have to try to get to. Of course, because you've got the practice and the skills as well, if you notice that you're taking off your center, once a situation or scenario has gone, you can use your practice to come back to your center. But actually coming from your center becomes your default place gradually as you do the practice. But you've got to do the practice. So the exercise that we're doing is worth practicing a number of times. Maybe practice it every day for a number of weeks and see how that changes for you as well. Take yourself through different scenarios, through different things that happen in for you, and see how that changes as well. So I hope this has really helped you, and it's something that you'll be able to take into your everyday life, and it's a bit of an expansion beyond what we were doing on the Dantian breathing for stability. So gentle focus for stability, but it's taking the skills of gentle focus for stability into everyday scenarios, and that can really help you as well.